The closer look at the top political headlines this week with the Iowa caucuses right around the corner. Joining us now, ABC White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks there in Iowa and ABC News political director Rick Klein in Washington, D.C. Welcome to you both. Mary Alice, let's go ahead and start with you. Monday's the big day there in Iowa, just 2 days away from the caucuses. It's truly when this presidential election begins. On the Republican side, Donald Trump way ahead in the polls. We know that. So is this really a race for second place here?
Oh, Gio, that is exactly for the voters to decide. And I do think that there could be some surprises. But look, I've talked to a lot of state officials and voters here that tell me that they respect Trump's big lead, like you said, commanding lead in the polls. They do, of course, think it'll be very hard for someone to overtake him here in Iowa, but that they say the margins will matter. And who exactly comes in second could really send a message to the rest of the country. And whether or not Trump meets 50% or not, could he fall victim to that expectations game? I mean, he has been out there telling everyone that he is going to win by huge margins. And it's been interesting to me, too, I will say, a lot of state officials telling me that they've been very impressed with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' ground game and organization here in Iowa. They wonder if that's been a little underestimated.
All right, let's dig in a little deeper here and go to Rick Klein, who's, he's got the big board up, so he means business today. Iowa's so critical in 2016 for Republicans. People forget it was Ted Cruz, right, who beat Donald Trump. But what are you looking at this time around for how things could play out?
Yeah, and if you look at that 2016 map, it is instructive for how the campaigns are game planning things for Monday. Ted Cruz did win the state, and actually Marco Rubio won a lot of the big urban areas. Just take the county that Des Moines is in, Polk County. Marco Rubio won big in that state. He also did well in the eastern part of the state, in Davenport and in some of the suburbs around Des Moines. That's Nikki Haley country. She's the same kind of candidate this time around, and she's trying to run up the numbers in counties like that. For Ron DeSantis, it's a bit of a different strategy. He has visited all of Iowa's 99 counties, and he is counting on the evangelical vote to come in big for him. Take the northwest corner of the state, Sioux County. Donald Trump actually came in fourth in that county. So if Ron DeSantis can replicate that kind of map and that kind of math, that's how he runs close. But of course, as we've discussed, it's going to be hard to beat Donald Trump. This state looks a lot different, and there's a lot more Republicans in the state than there were even 8 years ago. And many of them, if not most of them, are Trump Republicans.
And Mary Alice, we have to, of course, look ahead. January 23rd, after Iowa, just 8 days, is New Hampshire. So how are the voters and issues different between these two states?
Yeah, Republican voters in New Hampshire generally seen as a little bit more moderate with that libertarian streak. It's the live free or die state. So some of those cultural issues that Ron DeSantis has championed, the fact that he signed that 6-week abortion ban in Florida, how he talks about taking on corporations and schools over gender issues, those issues don't really land the same in New Hampshire. Both candidates, though, all the candidates, I should say, really, of course, eyeing the 40% of New Hampshire voters who are registered independents. They're going to decide that state. They, of course, can participate in the GOP primary if they want. And we are watching closely the fact that West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, he was in New Hampshire, too, yesterday, giving political speeches. He, of course, has not closed the door on running himself.
So much to watch for. And, Rick, let's go back to your big board there, because you've been watching the polling in Iowa and New Hampshire. What are you seeing?
Yeah, this is the latest 538 polling average in the state of Iowa, and you see Donald Trump up there big, 35-point lead over his closest rivals. What's interesting there is that just in the last couple of days, there's been a number of polls that have Nikki Haley pulling ahead of Ron DeSantis. So if you look, Ron DeSantis has been a strong second place this entire campaign. Now he is in a dogfight to maintain that position and might actually slip to third place, but Donald Trump far and away the leader. New Hampshire, a much different story. Donald Trump's lead there is only 10, 11 points on average recently, and we've seen some major changes in that race. Of course, Chris Christie just left the race a few days ago. So those 11, 12 points that Christie was due to get are now up for grabs. Polls suggest they are more likely to be Nikki Haley voters than Ron DeSantis or Trump voters. So it could be that margin tightens even a little bit more. But I'll tell you guys, even if Nikki Haley's able to pull an upset in New Hampshire, the national portrait a lot different. Donald Trump still would probably be the overall favorite.
Yeah, and if Haley is able to beat DeSantis in Iowa, that raises questions about DeSantis' future going on from there. All right, Rick Klein, Mary Alice Parks, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here. to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.